Welcome back to Talkville, the total rewatch podcast where we go back in time. We revisit all these episodes. Some of us haven't seen these episodes, but we go back and we have to watch them. We're forced to watch them. You're forced to watch them. Maybe you love watching them. And we talk about these episodes as if they were yesterday, which they were, but yesterday, like yesteryear. Gone like a soldier in a civil war, bang, bang. That's the line from that song. Listen, we couldn't do this without you. If you want the show to continue, I said to Bryce last week, Tom, it's like a subscription to like Hulu or whatever. People pay $14.99. Well, if everybody gave $1.99 to this podcast on Patreon, it keeps the show alive, and it really, you have no idea. It pays Bryce, it pays Ryan, it pays Jason. It's an expensive show to do, and we love doing it, so it's up to you. Patreon.com/talkville. If you didn't get a chance to call on our hotline and leave a question for this episode, make sure you do so. Make sure of that. It's at go to our handles at Talkville Pod, at Talkville Podcast. It's all there. You know how to do this thing. I don't think you're starting with season 4. You've probably watched all of them, so this is pretty redundant to you. So I'll continue. Leave a voice message for our shows if you want to ask a question. Do future episodes because
if you want to see what episode we're about to record, it's on the website.
They fill up fast. Yeah. Welcome, Tom Welling, Clark Kent. Good to see you. Also, Kal-El.
Yeah, thank you. Also, real quick, the people who are calling in, you may not know this, but we're usually 5 or 6 episodes ahead of what you see. I don't know if it's worth stating that, but like when you call in, like, get ahead a little bit, and we want to hear your questions because you guys always see things like how many times Lionel Luther says son, in the history of
well, how many times
all these really great things.
Yeah, Lex said father. One of the fans called in last episode and said, I say my father. I referred to as my father. I said 140 times in season 3. Without further ado, let's get into it. Hello, Bryce. Thanks for filling in for Ryan.
Hi.
Love having you here.
Yeah, I love being here.
Yeah, you're going to probably hit rush hour when this is over.
Fun.
Awesome. Without further ado, let's get into season 4, episode 2. This one's called Gone. Title Gone. Aired September 29, 2004. Director James Marshall, which means the episodes will be long filming days. But he's a good filmmaker, so they were great. But I give him shit. But we just need another take.
I learned a lot from James.
We just need another take. And another. And a sister and a brother. Writers, Brian Peterson, Kelly Satters, love those guys. Guest star Michael Ironside as General Sam Lane. Scanners, Total Recall, Top Gun. Didn't really get along with him. Didn't have much interaction with him, but he just wasn't very kind to me. But maybe he was having a bad day.
Michael walked on the set because he was in the next scene, and Ironside and I were doing a scene, and Michael kind of waltzed in and, had his banter with the crew and turned to Ironside, and Ironside looked at you and went, "Oh, you're that guy."
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Yeah. And I said, I'm the guy who's friendly with the entire crew. And then he said, he was kind of like, he just looked, he didn't even like, it just was weird. It was weird. I don't hate the guy. I just didn't love his vibe. Robert Wisden, Gabe Sullivan, James Bell as Trent McDonald. I thought Gabe Sullivan died. No, he's still alive, huh? Chloe's dad?
I guess so.
Colin Lawrence as Agent Stalker. James Michalopoulos as prisoner.
Oh, we're gonna learn a little something. Yeah, actually, we just gave something away about the episode.
What?
The fact that they're both in it because they died in the series finale.
You know what was interesting is
in season 3
when the episode aired, they omitted Alice and Mac from the title sequence.
They did,
which is cool.
Maybe we should do the same.
All right, bleep it.
Beep. Clark and Lois get closer to the truth about Chloe's mysterious death while Lionel Luther takes extra precautions to ensure he walks a free man in his upcoming trial. At the same time, Lana returns home after mysteriously feeling called back to Smallville. Not ill, but called back, but she seemed ill. After getting a previously on Smallville recap, we start the episode where we left off. Clark telling Lois that Chloe's grave is empty. They walk into the explosion site where the Sullivan safe house was to look for clues, but just see Hiroshima-like remains. That's what they see.
Did anybody else notice that in the final episode of season 3, when the house blows up, I think there were other houses around, and now we visit the house and it's in a field.
It's completely different, way smaller.
It's like
Yeah.
Completely different.
Yeah.
Just saying.
No one's going to notice. Just shoot it. No one's going to care. If you noticed it, then every fan noticed it. Before they could leave, they're interrupted by a special ops team that rappels down from a chopper. Clark takes out a couple guys and Lois flees. You impaled one guy. Lois flees on foot through nearby cornfields. Lois uses some moves to take out one of the guys, and Clark takes down the chopper with heat vision. They escape before an army general smoking a cigar can catch them. I just felt like cheese 101. Just cheese. I just didn't buy it. It's like these. I understand you kicking their ass, but Lois like kicking one guy's
I was
ass,
surprised about
and then
that.
the guy coming out with a cigar, and he kept going. Yeah, Ironside kept going, and there's no fire on the cigar. I'm like, there's no light on your cigar.
What I remember this day because Bob Hargrove, who flew, he was one of our live producers, and he flew choppers in Nam. And
Nam.
I remember he was on
That's
set
cool.
in Nam, and it was a big deal having helicopters like that. Doing that. What you learn about working with helicopters is no one cares about the actors. The helicopters are number one that day. Whatever the helicopter needs to do, everybody's on the helicopter's timeline. And they're flying around, they're doing all this stuff, and nobody understood why they were there. And then later we figure out that they're just there to talk to Lois.
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe they could have just gone on the loudspeaker and be
that's
like,
how
Lois,
you
this
do
is
it.
your father.
You put your daughter in peril. Lots of dubbed voices in this scene. We do this a lot of times because
There's a lot.
the
in this
sound.
episode.
Well, there's helicopters, loud noises. Also, what they do is sometimes in the story, and Ken Horton was really good at this, is he would say, you know what, we need to explain this more, and I'll do this on Clark's back, and I'll have him dub this line. He'll add this line in ADR that tells more of the story and pushes the story forward. So that's why there's sometimes heavily dubbed episodes.
Yeah, it's
and
all just to pull the story together.
Right.
It's got to be such a pain
But I
in the
noticed
ass
it
on
too.
the edit.
Yeah, it's also like they make you wear these lavs, for little microphones, and they're like, we have to do this. This is how, so you don't have to do ADR. They'd always say, this is so you don't have to do ADR. A lot of times they use the boom mic, and guess what? You still do ADR. So it's like, dude, come on. We get another silhouette shower scene, this time with Clark. Lois gets ready in the same bathroom, surprising Clark, and goes on to make jokes about seeing Clark Jr. earlier. As Clark leaves the bathroom, Martha is shocked to find her son in the bathroom with Lois.
I thought this was funny. I think that this is where you start to see the banter. I love what Erica, how she plays it, of like, hi, Mrs. Kent. This must be awkward for you. Like, she doesn't apologize. Because Lois doesn't. I just thought it's a good setup for Lois. She gets to, beat up these guys from the helicopters. She's confident in what she's doing because she's true to her heart. It's a good setup.
I would have said, though, like this, the reality always dawns on me where, like, I put myself, like most people do, like anybody watching these shows or any movie, what you'd say. Does this sound like something a real person would say? Like the second my mom opened the door, I go, Mom, it's not what you think at all. I was in the shower. She came in to brush her teeth. That was it. So whatever you're seeing, that's what I would have said.
What does Clark say?
He just goes,
Isn't he
nothing.
speechless?
He just
Yeah,
goes,
he's like shocked, right?
yeah, I
That
wouldn't
makes
have been.
sense.
I know, but I would have said something. I would have been like, and then she would have looked at you like, Downstairs, Lois and Clark get questioned by arms crossed Jonathan on why they are canoodling around in the middle of the day. Clark tells them about the chase, and Jonathan seems more concerned about tampering in federal affairs rather than his son's afternoon delight. And over in Paris, Lana's doing some research on a new tattoo, stumbling across a photo of Clark in the caves next to an identical symbol. Just weird.
It was the big stretch.
You just got to get Lana back.
Yeah, I got to get Lana back. But you know what I would have done? I would have done something where she's having she's in this relationship, but then she looks at a picture of Clark, of the two of them, and she's like, she still has these feelings, and you have that. And then, something happens where she hears that her father dies, and she has to go to the funeral or something.
And she's like, which
and
one?
she comes back to Smallville or something to bring her back that way and get her out of that whole hokey bullshit. And then she tells him, and then
probably not her father, because of the meteor shower, but maybe she finds out somehow that Chloe had passed.
Chloe,
maybe
exactly.
now she finds
Chloe
out.
passed. She
that
comes
would've
back
made
into
sense.
town, and then she sees Clark, and then Jason shows up, and it complicates her life. That's what you do. That's how simple it should have been. But what do I know? Again, Lex pays another visit to his locked-up father, who is being allowed a visitor to tailor a new suit for his expected release. Lionel threatens his son, telling him he will never have another moment of peace without worrying about being poisoned or attacked. That was dark. That was really dark.
That was scary.
And you see Lex going, oh, shit.
Oh, shit, yeah.
By the way, the direct cut, which was definitely
The wine.
Marcus, he's pouring himself.
That was cool.
Well, yeah.
And he's looking at it.
And he's like, I don't know.
I do remember, I don't know why, but I remember looking at that glass and it was shot out of sequence. And I go, why do you want me to look at this glass? He goes, because you were poisoned at the end of season 3 and you're thinking that your father did this. I'm like, oh, all right. I'll look at the
Good
glass.
note. Thanks, James.
Thanks.
Read the script, Michael.
Yeah.
Because you were poisoned. Oh,
You were poisoned. Oh, yeah. Thanks. Yeah. Lex goes to the mansion visited by Lana, who's back from France, because Paris just wasn't for her. She talks about feeling like she was called back to Smallville and asks if she can rent the Talon apartment.
By the way, a quick little brutal thing that I found in that is Lex goes, coincidentally, Clark is also back in town. She goes, I don't remember asking you about Clark.
Yeah, that was
I
cool.
was like, ouch.
Not only that,
Yeah.
but the first greeting of them was like kind of a little
You
bit
look great.
sensual.
Really?
Yeah, it was kind of like
The first
when
the
they
first thing you
hug.
say is, you look great.
Yeah. You look,
Of
you look
Clark
great.
and Lana or Lex?
Lana and Lex.
I didn't pick up on that.
Oh, I thought there
No,
was some
she
flirty.
walks in, you guys lock eyes, and the first thing that Lex says is, you look great. And she goes, thank you. And then right before you hug, you both say hey to each other, which is
Yeah.
hey.
The next day, Lois sneaks out from the Kent farm to do some grave robbing and find out whether or not her cousin's casket is empty. As she opens the casket to find it
That was
empty,
fun.
a strange man from the distance asks where Chloe is. After being denied by Lois, he metamorphs his arm into some kind of sword and starts swinging at her. Luckily, Lana shows up and grabs Lois's pepper spray, subduing the attacker.
Did anybody else notice how heavy that guy's sword was? I mean, I know this is a Terminator reference, but it was like, dude, like, get a hold of that thing.
Yeah, make it
It
smaller.
was like, it was so
Why was it so
heavy for him.
big? Make it smaller. It's like really
Poor guy.
bad. Even in your big fight sequence, it's like that's weighing him down. What a shitty weapon. It's so heavy, he's like, he can't even do it. It's like, an infant trying to pick up like a barbarian sword.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said that.
Anyway,
Well,
but I thought the actor did a great job for what he had to do. I mean,
well, whatever.
but then you do have Lana coming back to see Chloe, so maybe that is why she's back. Maybe.
Lana drives Lois back to the Kent farm, seeing Clark for the first time in months. She cautiously talks about her summer fling in Paris, and Lois playfully comments on their awkward tension. That night, Lois and Clark continue their investigation.
That was
It's so
funny.
weird saying Lois and Clark. Lois shares her findings about Luthor Corp paying her for Chloe's funeral. However, Clark is too distracted by the thought of Lana with another guy. They get interrupted by another special ops helicopter raid. Before they can leave, they are met face to face by the General, who smokes an unlit cigar, who turns out to be Lois's father. He wants to bring her back
Maybe he's-
home and treats Michael Rosenbaum like shit. And Lois thinks she's intentionally being pulled away because they're getting close.
Maybe he's trying to quit. So instead of lighting the cigar, Will Smith did this years ago.
Maybe he
used to-
quit smoking with
he even
Lois
talked about
with
in
his
his song.
daughter.
Oh, yeah. Also, this is hilarious that they bring a helicopter just for another.
Yeah, dude, who are you?
Hop in the truck and let's go.
Are you like, I guess he's like, who's that big general?
He's afraid of cars. He only flies in helicopters. It's safer.
Yeah.
That night over at Luthor Mansion, Lex is paranoid about another Clark-related accident and has pulled together a team to investigate how his airplane could have gotten robbed midair. Clark interrupts Lex's investigation and asks for help finding out what happened to Chloe. And Lex tells his former best friend that Chloe's casket was empty because her body was so destroyed by the explosion that there was nothing left. Good rebuttal. Over at the federal penitentiary, we see Lionel taking a shower under protective custody. He turns for a second and the guard disappears, allowing a fellow inmate to jump in and shank him in the shower. Now, let me tell you something. What I don't like
Not
about
so
this,
protective custody, huh?
well, let me ask you something. If he's going to get shanked, the person wanted to kill him, right?
And who
Or not.
was that? Lex hiring a guy? Is that what that was supposed to be? Who
I
tried to kill?
I don't know, but let me ask you something. If you're going to kill somebody, don't stab him once. Stab him repeatedly. What the F is wrong with people?
It's a warning. I would hope. By the way, I just was laughing because if Kelly and Brian are listening to this podcast, I'm sorry, because I know you guys our wonderful writers.
Don't be
and
sorry. It's a great
I can't
episode.
do what you
but it's-
do. But
Talkville is brought to you by AG1. Listen, if you don't know what AG1 is, listen just for a few seconds because it is changing lives. It truly is a great product that we've been using, Tom and I, and many people out there, millions of people, for a while now. And it's just so convenient. Instead of taking all these vitamins, people always say you should be taking your vitamin D and your vitamin this and your this and your this, and you're taking all these pills and you're going, oh my gosh, I can't swallow all these pills. And it's bad for my stomach and it's this and that. AG1 has everything you need with probiotics, prebiotics, and these vitamins and minerals in just one glass of water mixed in with this powder from AG1. And it tastes good. And that's it. You take one glass in the morning and you're done. And, they say taking care of your health isn't always easy. Well, it is. It can be. That's why for the last, Tom, for 2 years, we've been drinking this AG1 every day.
I mean, I miss it when I don't take it. We've told this story before about other people too, but I just ordered my own because I do miss it and I do take it with me. I'm going to be going to Europe soon. Definitely AG1's going to be in my bag. Like it's very helpful and it's easy to drink.
I have a cabinet full of it and I have the travel packs and it's just the first thing when I wake up, boom, before I have a cup of coffee. Sometimes I don't even have a cup of coffee. I take the AG1. I just feel like my body's getting nutrition. I'm energized. I'm focused. I'm a better me is what I am. That's for sure. Look, if there's one product I had to recommend to elevate your health, it is AG1. And that's why we've partnered with them for so long. If you want to take ownership of your health, please start with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase exclusively at drinkag1.com/talkville. That's drinkag1.com/talkville. Check it out.
We should call Al to get their phone numbers so we can call them.
Well, remember this, okay? When you're writing an episode of TV, there's 1,000 cooks in the kitchen. There's no, we want to do it this way. No, you have to have a scene with his shirt off. No, I want a little banter about this. No, I want his sword to be 20 pounds heavier. You know?
And that's what the no's sound like. No.
There was that other shirt off scene where it was Clark sleeping on the couch. It was like just finding excuses.
Yeah. That's James Marshall, though. He always finds an excuse to get nudity. Later, we see Lois digging through her father's office trying to find details on her cousin's whereabouts. Clark interrupts her to let her know that Lex is working with her father because he found out one of his cigars in Luther Mansion. In this scene, we learn that Lois's mother passed away. We also learn that Lois's father has been taking meetings with a former undercover reporter who has supposedly been dead for decades and was a hero to Chloe. It's amazing how they find this information out so fast.
That's a lot of information.
It's so much information. I'm like, oh, I guess we just have to go with that.
Yeah. All within like 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I hate about
this
things.
This all from a reporter who can't figure out that Clark Kent and Superman are the same person. later on in life.
Ever. They put the pieces together and Clark super speeds over to the hideout where he believes Chloe is staying. There he sees a makeshift wall of weird and her laptop. And instead of finding Chloe, Clark finds 2 murdered agents. Shortly after, Lex walks in to find Clark at the scene. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's one thing I was noticing in this episode with like Clark and Lex together is like they're just never they're never gonna be friends again.
Well, let's just wait and see. Let's wait and see. We're not going to tell you anything.
I'd be shocked.
Maybe something happens which brings them back together. I don't know the answer to that.
And by the way, Clark did go through a wall and he's reborn and he did fight himself with black kryptonite. So he's got a lot going on.
Yeah, and Lex forgot his memories for 6 years or something.
He got killed by his father.
Yeah. I mean, we're not shitting on the show. We're just trying to get explanations here. Back at the hideout, Clark is understandably upset with Lex for lying about Clark. Lex tells Clark that he felt responsible for her and actually saved her from the explosion. We then see a flashback of the Sullivans entering the house, which is obviously ADR. I did dubbed recording. Quickly being escorted into leftover underground railroad tunnels for safety. Lex hired General Lane because he couldn't trust the feds. Clark speeds away to save Chloe after Lex is tipped off that she is at the foundry.
This might be the first time Lex ever did a voiceover.
It was really weird because they should have had me act those lines out instead of really like, and then I did this, and then this. It should have been like, Clark, what we did was we had this underground tunnel that we created. And when Chloe walked in the house, she immediately went down there, and this is how it all happened. And the feds had no idea because it's undetectable. You can't look through, something like that. But they didn't. At the foundry, we see Chloe tied up and attempting to flee until she is stopped by Trent, who starts to choke her out instead of just stabbing her with that big battle axe. Clark shows up and the two guys start battling. Trent gets the upper hand, but is ultimately killed after Lois shocks the metal man with a stun gun and Clark heat blasts him into molten lava. The old heat blast, folks. A new form of blasting. You got the hand blast and now the heat blast. Lois writes all this stuff off to the town being a little weird. Clark and Lois then reconnect with Chloe, who is not blown up.
So this poor kid works for Lionel?
Yeah, I think it was a kid from Belle Reve who feels like he's appreciated by Lionel, so he's willing to kill for him.
Yeah, unexplained.
Okay.
The biggest issue I had with this whole scene is, one, Lois just kills a mutant with a silver arm 3 days at Smallville, and she's not like traumatized by that.
Well, she didn't kill him.
She zaps the guy.
She zaps him.
Clark eye zaps him.
But Clark does the eye thing, which kills him.
Yeah, she doesn't say anything.
But she didn't know because he was on the other side.
Oh, that's what stopped.
Who knows?
Because she didn't see Clark, she must think she did it. No?
I guess. I have
And then how'd she even know they were there? She just shows up.
I'm sorry, telling you, Brian.
Believe me.
There had to have been a scene that was cut or something.
Yeah, there's just a lot of gaps, man. A lot of gaps. The next day at the farm,
I wonder if Ryan would feel the same way.
It's funny. I thought about that. Would Ryan be bitching as much as Bryce is? No, I like it. But listen, Bryce does a lot more homework and he is more detail oriented, and so it makes sense. The Kents read the front
Ryan
page.
doesn't have Hulu.
The Kents read the front page story of how Lionel Luthor was charged guilty for the murder of his parents. Clark says it's all thanks to Chloe and is hesitant to give Lex any props, thinking that he did it just to control Luthor Corp. And ironically, Clark is upset with Lex for lying to him from day one and believes his real threat is not Lionel Luthor, it's Lex Luthor. Boy, maybe Ryan was right. Not Ryan Tejas, but Ryan the kid. Be careful of Lex. Later that day, Clark heads to the Kawachi Caves, hopefully we're done with them soon, looking for more answers. While there, he finds Lana, who's doing the same. Lana makes mention of his blooming relationship with Lois.
First time Lana's ever been to the caves, as far as I can remember.
No, she was there one other time for some ending.
Was she?
Some emotional ending.
Yeah.
Did we already talk about the scene with Lana, Lois, and Clark when they're talking outside the farm? I really like that one.
It was directed very well. because he does this thing where he switches around and
really
Lois
good.
says, it's complicated. Okay.
Mhm.
And Lana apologized for the way Clark had to find out about Jason after his sentencing and before going to general population. Lionel receives another visit from his son. Before entering, Lionel flips his warning on his son after having been stabbed, telling him to not wound what he can't kill. Have no idea how Lionel is going to get out of this and re-enter the show normally after a murder conviction. And the episode closes in a familiar place inside the town, being played out to pop music. Instead of Clark with roses, however, we see Jason with a bouquet. Despite the note Lana left before leaving France, Jason decided to go get closure in Kansas. And Lana says she still feels strongly about him, but can't go back to Paris. And Jason says, that's cool. And I'm willing to stay here.
A little on the nose there. Maybe he's not who you think he is.
I thought it was cool. He stepped up. He was like, listen, I know you don't want to go back, but I'm willing to come out here and give this a shot. And I'm going to be your coach in a few weeks.
Who cares about Paris when you have Smallville?
That's true.
The appeal of the cornfield.
Interesting things of note. In the original airing, Allison Mack was uncredited to maintain suspense of Chloe's fate. This episode marks the final appearance of Gabe Sullivan, Chloe's father, on the series. The first rescue of Lois Lane by Clark in both film and television versions involve a helicopter. The Daily Planet's article on Lionel's conviction was reported by Perry White. General Lane cashes in his rain check of eating dinner at the Kents in the season 10 episode Ambush. When Lois is digging up the grave, you can see in the back that one of the graves reads James Marshall. The director of this episode is James Marshall.
I thought the helicopter thing is kind of, I wouldn't have seen that coming. That's an interesting thing of note.
It is.
Indeed.
It is an interesting thing of note. Now it's time for the hotline, the special hotline. We're going to start out with our top tier patrons. If you want to be a patron, patreon.com/talkville, you get to ask questions. Other people do too, but this is patron privilege. And here's Thomas T. I believe Thomas the Leaf Blower has asked a lot of questions, and they're pretty good most of the time. Let's see if this one holds up. Thomas the Leaf Blower.
Hey, Thomas the Leaf Blower here with a question for the season 4 episode Gone. Did anyone else start to get Terminator 2 vibes at the end there? And did Lois and Clark do a double murder on the T-1000?
I believe you're correct. Yes.
Oh yeah, Clark's got 2 murders now.
T-1000. Good reference.
That was good. I think so. I think they did. They both killed him. But he was an alien.
Clark's almost like a serial killer now. That's 2.
A serial.
What's
Yeah. But he's a vigilante
you
serial
see
killer.
terrorizing this small town.
Serial killer. He knocks out all the boxes.
Karen Era in the cold weather with a scarf.
Hi, it's
Hello.
Karen here. I'm your patron from Oakville, Ontario. Progressively getting colder on my walk. Superman's not supposed to kill people, but somehow Lois electrocuting Ginsu Boy at the same time as Clark shooting him with heat vision. Ginsu Boy then explodes? Yeah, what do you think?
I don't care. Personally. If Clark can't, he's not Superman, first of all, he's learning. But if you're trying to protect somebody, you have to do whatever it takes.
Oh, that's true.
So it was inadvertently killing him.
Self-defense murder.
It's self-defense murder. It's not murder, but self-defense.
It's a manslaughter?
It's involuntary manslaughter is what it is.
No, it was voluntary.
No, but he didn't know he was going to kill him. He just turned into a liquid, the son of a biatch.
I didn't know the guy was gonna die when I hit him with my heat vision.
Yeah. Here's Ray Harada.
Hi, this is Ray H in Japan, and I have a comment for season 4, episode Gone. So first, the double rainbow in the first scene in the background was awesome. And then second, Lana is lying and keeping secrets from Jason, which she always got mad at Clark for. So I'm just wondering if you thought there was any significance to that. Thanks. Bye.
Lana's somebody who really just wants to know the truth about other people. She you're right. She keeps a lot of things to herself, close to the vest. I obviously I love that Jensen's there playing Jason, and all she does is sort of act like Clark to him. In a way.
Yeah.
Like she's just secretive and doesn't tell him things and doesn't answer questions, and maybe she's learning from one of the best. I don't know.
Oh, I like that. All right, here's Carolyn.
Hi guys, this is Carolyn from Springfield, Missouri. I just had a question why Clark didn't notice the cave under the blown up house when he was there. I mean, he noticed that Chloe's coffin was empty, but he didn't do it to the house to see the underneath part of the house where they got out.
Carolyn,
anyway, thanks.
He
Bye.
doesn't always look with his x-ray vision everywhere, or he'd be doing it all the time. So I just let that go.
Can you imagine like Clark and Lex, they meet up to talk, and Clark goes, hold on a second. Let me make sure there's not a tunnel underneath you before we talk. Yeah, you can't do it all the time. I thought it was a good surprise that he checked Chloe's grave. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah,
I actually appreciated that watching it.
I was hoping what happened actually is that they put like a fake dead body in there. Because then he wouldn't be able to tell it was
what I was
Chloe.
hoping?
I was like, oh, that'd be so cool.
I was hoping that
6 fingers.
I was hoping that in the episode, what they could have done, tell me if this would have worked, is you see them leading, you see the back of Chloe going in with her father, and it explodes, and it was someone else. And so it wasn't Chloe. And so they don't have to explain these underground bullshit. It was actually Chloe. Chloe was actually...
I like the underground stuff, and I think it helps Lex. Because Lex is the mastermind. I think it's awesome.
All right. How about Ross? Ross, what do you got for me? Ross,
Pete
dress
Ross?
for less.
Just for less.
Hey guys, Russ in Rochester, New York, calling about season 4, episode 2, Gone. Why do you think we didn't get to see any of Lionel's trial? That seems like kind of a missed opportunity. I feel like the trial of Lionel Luthor would have been a freaking awesome episode.
Listen,
I feel you guys
Ross,
thought.
I agree with you, but let's be honest. You see how quickly some of these scenes are where they find out, Lois Lane's dad knew so-and-so, and they wrap all these things up in 3 seconds. If you have a trial, How long is that going to take?
We could do half an episode on it.
Oh, no one wants to see a half episode of a trial in Smallville.
It'd be cool to see Lionel, like the gavel come down.
I think that the message is the trial doesn't matter. Lionel is such a mastermind. He's so above trials that we don't even need to see it. He's already manipulated the whole situation. I think that's why we actually don't see the trials. Yes, it would be boring anyway, but I think he's already manipulating the trial before it happens. That's what I think. He's gotten to all the jurors. He's gotten to the judge. He's,
My 2 cents. I didn't want to see that on Smallville. I could watch Law and Order.
Hi, this is Katie Robles, originally from the San Francisco Bay Area, but studying abroad in Dublin, Ireland. I am calling because I was watching season 4, episode 2, Gone, and it's a scene where Clark and Lana are in the caves, and Lana says, aren't the best ones are always like that. And she says it almost as if she's had experience with more than just Whitney and Clark and the new guy. But do you think Kristen Cook hinted at the fact that she knows, or that Lana has a feeling that Clark will end up with Lois Lane? And thank you. Love the podcast.
There's no way she could have known that. But I don't know.
No, but that's the writing for sure.
Yeah. I think it is foreshadowing,
Well,
Katie. I think you're right.
let's go back to what I mentioned before. When Lana comes back and sees Lex, and after Lex says how beautiful she looks, she says, I don't remember asking about a Clark. Maybe she's moved on.
No. Sean, I'm not going to listen to your question because we've already answered it. Any idea why there was so much ADR in the episode? But we kind of explained that. But I love you, Sean. Call in. Adam, I'm not going to answer your question only because it's like any fun stories working with Michael Ironside. And you know the answer to that. So
it was awesome. I loved it.
Let's go to the tech.
I want to go on record to say that him and I got along great. I loved it. I loved working with it.
Yeah.
He was really nice to you, huh?
I don't know. There's something about, I've seen this working with some older actors that they don't want to be interrupted. That's all they want. They get to a point in their craft where they're patient, and when it's their time, it's their time. And if you interrupt their time, they really get upset. And maybe that's something about life in general.
Yeah.
But I've seen it with a couple older actors where they're just like, listen, you can do whatever you want until it's my time. And don't mess with my time. And I think that's what Michael walked right into.
Yeah.
It's Ironside time.
Maybe.
And he didn't like that.
And I think he's a good actor. I wasn't impressed with this character. I just wasn't. It was just like, I just wasn't impressed by it. That's all. It just was maybe the writing. It just wasn't a lot for him to do. And it was just kind of playing that. I think he didn't have to be so hard. I think he could have been a little bit softer.
His name is Ironside.
His disposition enough, or his demeanor is big enough. He could have just been subtle and just soft, and it would have worked for me. I thought it was stereotypical Smallville. That's all. I think he's a good actor though. Pitar, international folks. For season 4, there are so many new characters. Do you remember how the dynamic changed on set? No, it just made it more interesting. I think it was a little more fun. I think a few people are probably worried about their jobs, but I think everybody had fun working with different people for the most part.
I didn't think about it that way, but Bryce, you brought something up in the last episode where everything kind of just got elevated in more of an adult manner, which I liked because the show needed to grow. We couldn't just keep going back to high school.
Yeah,
I
didn't realize that they're the next episode they actually do the school stuff, but they're
You already watched it?
Yeah.
Damn.
They're seniors now, so this is.
So maybe Lana is 18.
Well, I think she's the birthday is her.
Maybe they were
18.
waiting till she turns 18.
Yeah.
To Jason her. In the shower scene, says Jana. Jana asks, in the shower scene with Lana and Clark, can you tell us a little bit about Lois calling Clark Smallville for the first time in this scene and how Erica created that? Well, it was created by the writers, but I think that Smallville was referring to his penis, and that's how it continued on.
What?
Isn't that how she? When
she said
she calls Clark Smallville. Is that like calling him about his because she saw his wiener?
No. Is that a joke? Or
That's sort of a joke, but it's sort of like could have been. She's in the shower. He's in the shower. She already saw him naked.
She was hoping for Metropolis. She got Smallville.
I don't know. I think she was talking.
But she already saw him in the corn. She already saw him in the cornfield and was impressed.
She was talking about his wiener. No, she called it Little Clark or whatever.
Clark Jr.
Clark Jr. I mean, if you ask a person who is,
we got to ask Erica. We got to ask Erica when she's on the podcast.
If you met a really incredibly short person, and then you said,
"Oh boy,
oh,
Jason,"
and the guy's name was Rob, you'd say, "Hey, Rob Jr." And he's small. You'd be like, "What does that mean? Because I'm small, so now my wiener's small."
You know, I'm at Smallville.
Yeah, there you go.
So you're saying that this show is named after this situation?
Yeah, it's named after
the entire show.
Clark's. No, she calls you Smallville, I think, because the first time she saw you, she saw Smallville. I'm kidding, sort of. When Lois and Clark search for information on Chloe in General Sam Lane's office, I don't like his name either, General Sam. General Sam Lane. It should be General Charles
Lane.
Charles Lane. Or Richard Lane. Dick Lane. There's a family photo of Lois with her parents. The father in the photo is Michael Ironside, who plays General Lane, but the mother in the photo is Terry Hatcher, who comes on in a later season and guest stars as Lois's mother. Did anyone notice that? No. That's really cool, if that's the truth. Wow. Thank you for all your questions.
This show is brought to you by Betterhelp.
You know, Betterhelp has been with us for a long time, and there's a reason for it, because we believe so strongly in BetterHelp and therapy, making therapy affordable and for everyone, because no matter who you are, we all have our issues, we all have our problems, and sometimes we can't solve them by ourselves. And we try to be the big guy, or but it's important to know that there's somebody else out there, a professional, that can help you, and that is BetterHelp. Around New Year's, look, we get obsessed with how to change ourselves instead of just expanding on what we're already doing right. Maybe you finally organize one part of your space and you want to tackle another. Or maybe you're taking your supplements every morning and now you want to actually eat breakfast too. Whatever your goals for the new year are, therapy helps you find your strengths so you can ditch the extreme resolutions and make changes that really stick. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Even if you've added some new routines in there, it's so easy. You just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime with no additional charge. And I want to let you know that some people are a little nervous to go, I don't know, I don't vibe with this person. There's no questions asked. You just change it. They don't have to know. You don't have to tell them yourself. You just change it. It's important. So get on that, will you? Why wait for a new year when you can celebrate you and the changes you've already made right now?
Therapy from BetterHelp can get you there and help you, love the journey, and love this new year.
Celebrate the progress you've already made. Visit betterhelp.com/talkville today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/talkville. Does your beloved pooch have a not-so-secret problem? Bad doggy breath? Not to worry. Introducing my very own Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath. Just a splash in your dog's water bowl, and Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath works its magic, neutralizing bad breath, reducing tartar, and promoting better dental health. Vet-approved, made with natural ingredients, and works to solve what causes bad breath in dogs. Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath, because every tail-wagging moment should be fresh and enjoyable. Get yours today on Amazon. Rosenbaum rating.
Oh, God, that was funny.
I am going to go with mine.
Rosenbaum
I'm going to give it a rose. I think it's a rose. I think we went down from a 2.5, a 2 to a 3 rose in the first one. We jumped down to a 1 in the second one. There's a lot of bullshit. What do you say, Bryce?
Yeah, I was going to do 1.5, but I'm going to 1.
Tom?
1.
All right, 1 rose.
Oh, you know what's one thing I want to call out that was interesting is, so Jensen gets in the title credits, right? But Erica doesn't. And it got me thinking, is that because I remember Al has said a few times that they thought they were only getting Lois Lane for a few episodes. So I wonder, is that why? And then it got me thinking, like, how the hell would they write her out of the show with like?
And she probably had.
So
yeah,
there's also another side of this. Jensen was an established actor coming from Los Angeles. He wasn't going to come up unless he was given a certain title on the show. That's just how it works.
Yeah,
Erica was from Vancouver, right? And I think they took advantage of the fact that they didn't want to pay her and didn't give her a title and made her hold on. I think that's what it is. We could ask her, but there's no way that Jensen's going to come up and do all these episodes from LA. It's just that's how the business works, and it's unfortunate because I saw the same thing in the last episode. I was watching the credits looking for Erica, and she's not in them.
Right.
You know what?
Because she's not a season regular yet.
I wish, everybody always makes it out like you're lucky you have this job. We want you. We're going to go. We want a season out of you, whatever, and they'll pay you whatever, and they just throw shit at you and make you seem like you're not worth much. But if anybody who watched those first few episodes, and then they said, "Hey, we want to make you a regular," she should have been paid a lot more. I'm sure they paid her shit.
They literally started the episode with her instead of Lex.
I think they got away with paying her nothing. I really do. I have a feeling.
Yeah.
She didn't tell me that, but I have a feeling they probably way underpaid her, which is unfair because they took advantage of the fact that she was Canadian. And I personally, that's what I think. And I don't like it, but death and save count, 3 dead. Trent kills 2 guards. Trent dies after he's thrown in melted metal. 2 saved. Lana saves Lois from Trent. Lois and Clark saves Chloe from being killed by Trent through 2 episodes, season 3.
So Clark didn't kill him. He just knocked him over.
I guess so. 95 dead, 107 saved in this season, in the whole series. And now it's time for Ryan/Bryce's favorite scene.
All right, so the Lois Clark shower scene, the scene, the scene with Lana, Lois, and Clark talking outside the barn. I really like that scene. And
you didn't have to say that because that throws us.
Well, now it's out there. So what do you want?
He did mention it already.
The
Twice.
ending fight scene, I liked how it was shot a couple times with like the wide shots. It felt like Star Wars-esque kind of. But those 3.
All right, I'm going to say 1.
You threw me off. I think he's double talking, but I got to go with it. I think it's the Minaj scene, the 3 of them.
Nope, 1.
Yes. I felt it. I felt like he was throwing. I was like, I really liked the scene. In the last scene, he said something too, and I was like, no, it's 1. I caught him.
Damn it.
All right, we're tied 1-1. Wow. Well, look, I will say this. We had a lot of problems with this episode, but it was still fun. It was still a rose. I didn't shit on it completely. I know I was a little negative at times, but I had fun with it. I didn't hate it. I didn't turn it off.
Hey, listen, we figured out where we got the name of Smallville from.
Every time you hear Smallville, think of that now.
I think we should have a t-shirt that say Clark Jr. #Smallville. That's it for the episode. Stick around next week as we keep it real and talk about season 4, episode 3, Facade. I see what you did with that.
Got it that time.
Let's take the discussion online. Let us know your thoughts on the episode over on our socials at Talkville Pod or at Talkville Podcast. Show the support by joining Patreon, patreon.com/Talkville. There's so many amazing perks that you'll get, like asking questions and occasional Zooms and discounts on
pictures of
merch
Margot Kidder playing her own slot machine.
Yeah. Thank you. I have that somewhere. I got to find it. More info, merch, talkvillepodcast.com. We have so much great merch. So check that out. Everything's in the description. And Tom, why don't you send us out with the big slogan?
I would like Bryce to do it because
it's
there's
Bryce's
not many
turn.
times.
Bryce,
not many times we get to
say
hear
it with
Bryce
conviction.
Always hold on to Smallville.
Beautiful. Let's say it again, but say it to the camera.
Always hold on to Smallville.
And remember what Smallville means to you now.
Always hold on to your Smallville.
All right, I like that one. Good. We'll see you later. And once again, we can't forget our lovable patrons who make this podcast possible. Period. The end. Patreon.com/Talkville. Be a patron, get your name shouted out, and a bunch of other perks. And most importantly, you're helping us out. So we're going to read the top tiers. And here we go. Nikki G, Leanne P, Raj C, Santiago M, Little Lisa, Thomas the Leaf Blower, Sophie M, Betsy D, Abby P, Ray Harada, Karen Apple M, 99 more, Leilani N, Brett G, always hold on to Smallville, Estefan G, DJ Kento, Garrett W, Bob K, Kimberly L, Tom N,
Jason W, Osama A in the house, Glenda.
The Good
Glinda.
Witch, P.
No, it's Glenda the Good Witch.
Yeah.
But isn't it Glinda? Oh, all right.
It's Glenda, isn't it?
Is that a new one?
I don't know. Yeah, she is. She's sort of new. Yeah.
Welcome to my world. Lana rhymes with banana. W.
Mm-hmm.
She loves it when I do that. Nancy D, Brian G, Sarah W, Vancouver Grips, Anna M, Amanda R, Teddy127, Michael P, Theo M, Ryan R, Jordan M, Randy B, Craig G, Karen P, Jorel, Hi Dad, Heather and Greg, I made Talkville say butts, Brian H, Eric K, Kristen B, Nanine W, Stephanie K, and Darth Achilles.
Wow, that's a lot. Finky, early is on time. Damn, who's that? Jeanette D or Jeanette E, Deadvid, General Zod, Theodore, Big D, Doug R, Carlos C, Tommy Z, Boston 68, Ken the Limerick Guy, Corey L, Mr. Homar K, Jesse C, Claire M, D Brown, Karen Era M, Jules M, Eldon Supremo. Eldon, thank you for remember Eldon? He gave us the poem that he wrote.
Oh, yeah.
He's so awesome. Leslie V. McBurts, we just heard from on an episode we just recorded. Ginger Moose, Christoph S., Michelle M., Drew, Marisol P., Michael Kang doesn't blink. Actually, Michael Kang doesn't blink. Sebastian F., Sourpuss, Cranky Pants, Matthew, and Lincoln B.
Well, we can't forget the Coopers. Marion Louise L., CGO, Cindy C., Nikki L., Shannon Fo, Fannin, Tina E., Maverick, but not the pilot or the gambler, which, I want to know more about that. Jen T., not Gentle, Randy S., Cassie B., Brad A., Felicia R., Danny M., J.S., Rachel D. You're so good at these next three.
Gingerous Prime and Nate D. When you're rich, you aren't crazy, you're eccentric. And Chicken Flour, Sammy S.
Starkville's Derek. Spicy Brown says, Carrie Ann, the Coopers, again. Daryl E., Kyle F., Charlene A., Lady L., Spicy Chicken, who doesn't like that? Jenny B., Anna B., last son of Talkville, that's good. Monica T.
Tom is my hall pass. Jenna May C. I like that. Tom is my hall pass. How about me, you son of a... Jenna May C., Michelle M., Superman's Tidy Whiteys, Sausage V. Those two go together. Samuel Daddy M., Cameron R., Eric M., Jeffrey K., Tony K., Andy S., Pip Kenobi, and Katya C. Thank you guys so much. We love you. Thanks for the support.
Thanks. It's fun.